For the Longines Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby presented by Woodford Reserve. Lots of buzz in the air as the connections continue to trickle in to the Aristides Lounge, and the Kentucky Oaks draw is just moments away. Joe Christopher and Scott Shapiro joining you. And Scott, Kentucky Oaks, star-studded field. Same with the Kentucky Derby. We're doing both draws on one day. Can't wait to get those overnights, those past performances. Next stage of our handicapping begins in a couple of hours.
Great to have a little bit of extra time. Great to be here, of course. But for those Kentucky Derby PPs, I think both of these fields came together beautifully over the final preps. Horses that looked like they were the major contenders took big steps forward. Pretty excited to get things going.
Let's take a look at the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard. Horses earning points on the road to the Longines Kentucky Oaks, and we've got undefeated horses on the 1-2 slots. Kathleen O coming from South Florida, and Echo Zulu, the 2-year-old champ from last year. She won her 3-year-old debut at the fairgrounds.
Of the two of them, I think the draw much more important for Echo Zulu, getting out of the gate as a speed horse. Kathleen O, sure, you don't want to draw the inside probably and not the far outside, but her goal will be to save ground early under Javier Castellano and make one big run.
Secret Oath dominated Oakland, was third most recently the Arkansas Derby against the boys for Dwayne Lucas, who was won for Kentucky Oaks as we flip the page. Taking a look at Hidden Connection, who just missed in the Fairgrounds Oaks last stop behind Echo Zulu.
Yeah, Hidden Connection, another horse I'm very much have my eye on him where she draws. Drew outside Echo Zulu in the Fairgrounds Oaks, stalked that day. Maybe if she draws inside, we get a more aggressive ride from Ray Gutierrez.
Begin on the all-side looking in. She is programmed as number 15 as the lone, also eligible. The Kentucky Oaks draw just moments away. Let's send it over to the third member of our team, Brandon Staubel, for a look at how the draw is going to work here this afternoon. Brandon.
Thanks, guys. We're going to utilize a traditional pill-pull draw. 14 horses in the box, 14 pills in the jug. We'll pull a horse, we'll pull a pill. We'll do that for the first 7, and then we'll take a short break. We'll come back, draw the other 7. This is the same system utilized by Churchill Downs on a regular basis.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Scott, 9 furlongs the distance, decent run into the first turn. We'll find out the post position shortly.
Yes, we will. And like I said, the speed horses, not too many of them, but they're the ones that I'm going to keep my eye on. Most horses in this field, I think most post positions will work just fine.
Travis Stone will host the proceedings momentarily. First, it's Steve Buttleman, the bugler for Churchill Downs, to get things started.
Good afternoon, everyone. Travis Stone from Churchill Downs, and welcome to the draw for both the Oaks and the Derby, taking place on the same time, the same day, Monday of Derby week. Beautiful day here in Louisville. I'd like to welcome on the stage the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission Chief Steward, Barbara Borden, presiding over her 11th Kentucky Derby. Also on the stage is Churchill Downs Racetrack President Mike Anderson. This will be his 26th Derby he's been involved with at Churchill Downs. Churchill Downs Incorporated General Counsel Neil Curtis, his 3rd Kentucky Derby. On the table, we have Vice President of Racing and Racing Secretary Ben Huffman. He started with Churchill Downs in the fall of 2006. And next to him is Assistant Racing Secretary and Stakes Coordinator Dan Bork. They are responsible for putting all of the races together throughout the season here at Churchill Downs. And of course, to hang the silks is Miss Kentucky, Haley Wheeler. As mentioned, it's a entry sheet and pill-pull draw. We'll draw 7 horses, take a brief break, draw the next 7. And with that, here we go.
1 and 14. Right off the bat, also eligible 15 is Beguine with Ricardo Santana. Also eligible 15 is Beguine. Here we go.
Number 7.
7, Echo Zulu, Joel Rosario.
Number 7, Echo Zulu is trying to become the first filly champion to win the Oaks and Silver Bullet Day in 1999. She'll be making her Churchill Downs debut in the Oaks, but she's raced at 4 different racetracks and has never lost. Trainer Steve Asmussen has won the Oaks twice. Joel Rosario is seeking his first Kentucky Oaks victory. Echo Zulu, number 7.
Number 8.
8, Venti Valentine, Tyler Gaffalione.
Number 8, Venti Valentine, is a New York bred by Firing Line, who was runner-up to American Pharoah in the 2015 Kentucky Derby. She's also never been worse than second in her 5 career starts and narrowly lost to Nest last year, who projects to be one of the favorites this year. New York-based Jorge Abreu will use leading rider Tyler Gaffalione in the Oaks. Venti Valentine, number 8.
13.
13 is Shahama, Flavian Pratt.
Number 13, Shahama, for trainer Todd Pletcher. She'll be making her North American debut in the Oaks. She hasn't raced since February, but she is undefeated in 4 starts and has never lost a race by less than 2 lengths. She is unmistakable on the racetrack. Shahama has a giant white blaze covering her entire face. Shahama, number 13.
Number 9.
9 is Desert Dawn, Umberto Rispoli.
Number 9 is Desert Dawn. The Californian was an upset winner of the Santa Anita Oaks in her most recent start. She is owned and bred by Elena and Hollis Krim of H&E Ranch in Globe, Arizona, making Desert Dawn an Arizona bred. Umberto Rispoli has the mount for Phil D'Amato. Desert Dawn, number 9.
Number 6.
6, Ugiri, Florent Giroux.
Number 6 is Ugiri, whose first career start was a winning one right here at Churchill Downs last September for trainer Rudy Brisset. Like her sire Shackelford, Ugiri has plenty of tactical speed, which figures to be an asset in this year's Oaks. Jockey Florent Giroux, who has won the Oaks twice, posted a chart of her maiden win on Twitter to remind everyone of her versatility. Ugiri has indeed won races both on the lead and after rating. Ugiri, number 6.
Number 10.
10, Kathleen O, Javier Castellano.
Number 10 is Kathleen O, one of 3 undefeated fillies in this year's Oaks. She has won her 4 starts by more than 12 combined lengths. Trainer Shug McGahee won the Oaks in 1993 with dispute. Javier Castellano is seeking his first Oaks victory with Kathleen O, number 10.
Number 4.
4, Nest, Irad Ortiz.
Number 4 is Nest, who hinted at her talent when winning her first career race going long by 5 lengths last September. She's only lost once, and the margin of her breakout win in the Ashland was the 3rd largest in the last 30 years. Jockey Irad Ortiz, who's been on her for all of her wins, has the call on Nest. That's number 4. That's the first 7. We'll take a brief break, and we'll draw the final 7 right after this.
Echo Zulu drawing post position number 7 for the Kentucky Oaks, drawing outside Scott of the other supposed speed in here, Ugiri. So good draw for her. You've got Kathleen O in post position number 10. A good draw for her as well, although maybe not as important as some of the others.
I think what's most noteworthy here is Ugiri being right inside Echo Zulu. Ugiri wired out the field in her most recent win in the fantasy. Florent Giroux was aboard. Almost has to go now with Echo Zulu drawn. It was outside, or it could get a little bit dicey.
Let's take a look at the first 7 post positions right now, and you see the inside 3 gates, Scott, are still available. A lot of those middle gates are taken up, including, like we mentioned, Echo Zulu drawing outside of Ugiri.
Yeah, and we're Hidden Connection, who what will be in the second tier in terms of wagering draws, will be very important. If she draws 1, 2, 3, or 5, that really could set up a contentious early pace with both Ugiri and Hidden Connection drawing inside the likely pace setter Echo Zulu.
7 down, 7 to go, and don't forget to Begin with the also eligible is going to be number 15. We've got 7 left in the Kentucky Oaks draw. Let's send it over to Brandon Staubel for his thoughts on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, just like you guys said, the fact the speed horses, 6, 7, and 8, Venus Valentine, Echo Zulu, and Ugiri, the speed's going to be in the middle of the race and probably going to go ahead, and I think this pace is going to be a little more contested than we originally thought. Nest looks like a winner so far, going to be able to save ground and kind of watch things develop up front. Kind of disappointed with the post for Shahama. I like the way she's coming into the race, but she's going to have it kind of tough out there, probably going to have to drop back and maybe near the back of the pack, guys.
Shahama's had a little bit of difficulty breaking from the starting gate. She's got an outside post, but a stalking style for the most part. We'll see what happens into that first turn. You mentioned Hidden Connection. Obviously, Nest drawn pretty well in 4. The other one outside Hidden Connection that we're looking for and waiting for is Secret Oath.
I think Nest may be the biggest winner here of the first 7 to draw. She'll be able to sit kind of a perfect pocket trip under Irad Ortiz Jr., which is right to her speed, you know, off of the early pace setters. Already liked her coming into the race, like her even more now.
Yeah, decent run into that first turn, going 1 mile and an eighth. We have 7 post positions yet to draw. Let's send it back over to Travis Stone to continue the proceedings.
All right, here we go. We'll draw the final 7 for the Kentucky Oaks. The mile and eighth distance here at Churchill Downs gives the horses about a furlong and a half run to that first turn to establish position for the race. And gentlemen, the final 7.
Okay, here we go.
Number 5.
5, Goddess of Fire, Johnny Velazquez.
Number 5, Goddess of Fire, is Red Oak Stables homebred, is one of Todd Pletcher's 3 runners in this year's Oaks. Pletcher with 4 wins in the Oaks is tied for second all time. John Velazquez and Pletcher won last year's Oaks, and they won their first Oaks together back in 2004. They're teaming up again with Goddess of Fire, number 5.
14.
14, Turner Loose, Manny Franco.
Number 14, Turner Loose, the outside post for this year's Oaks. Started her career with 4 consecutive turf starts, but won her dirt debut at the fairgrounds in her first start as a 3-year-old. Manny Franco, who regularly rides in New York, has the call. Brad Cox won the Oaks in 2018 with Monomoy Girl and 2020 with She Dares the Devil. 14, Turner Loose.
Number 2.
2, Nostalgic, Jose Ortiz.
Number 2 is Nostalgic, a Dolphin homebred who was given a perfect ride by Jose Ortiz in winning the Gazelle last time out at Aqueduct. Ortiz won the 2019 Kentucky Oaks with another good ride on Serengeti Empress. Trainer Bill Ma is the 3rd all-time leading trainer here at Churchill Downs, seeking his first Oaks win. Nostalgic, number 2.
Number 11.
11, Cocktail Moments, Corey Lannery.
Number 11 is Cocktail Moments. Corey Lannery is going to ride one of a few fillies that broke their maiden here at Churchill Downs. She's never been worse than 3rd in 4 career starts, despite developing a distinct come-from-behind style. Corey Lannery is the 4th leading all-time rider here at Churchill Downs and is always worth a little extra. That is Cocktail Moments, number 11.
Number 1.
1, Secret Oath, Luis Saez.
Number 1, Secret Oath. Trainer D-Wayne Lucas is back in the Oaks and is 1 win away from tying Woody Stevens for most wins. His first win came in 1982, his most recent 1990. Secret Oath broke her maiden on our Stars of Tomorrow card last year, became a major Oaks contender after winning 2 stakes at Oaklawn Park by a combined 14-plus lengths. Luis Saez will ride Secret Oath for the first time. Post 1.
Number 12.
12, Candy Raid, Rafael Bejarano.
Number 12 is Candy Raid. The most experienced horse in the race, was a last to first winner of the Bourbonnette Oaks up by 71 last month at Turfway Park. Her running style is similar to that of Blind Luck, who won the Oaks in 2010. Blind Luck was ridden by Rafael Bejarano, who will also ride Candy Raid, number 12.
And the 3.
3 is Hidden Connection, Relu Gutierrez.
Number 3, Hidden Connection, kicked off this year's Road to the Kentucky Oaks by winning the Pocahontas last year right here at Churchill Downs. Her rider, Ray Gutierrez, graduated from SUNY Cortland in New York with a degree in exercise science, and he told me he looked at his student loans and decided to pursue a career as a jockey. Gutierrez said trainer Brett Calhoun has Hidden Connection back in her best form, evidenced by nearly beating Echo Zulu last time out. Hidden Connection, number 3. Those were the 14 that have drawn. We will now take another brief break, get you the morning line odds. We'll be back after this.
The results of the draw getting a little bit more intriguing with those second 7 horses, including Hidden Connection, who's got some speed with Ray Gutierrez aboard. Good forward rider drawing post position number 3, and then Secret Oath drawing the rail here, Scott.
Talked about Hidden Connection being key, as well as Ugiri, where they drew in relation to Echo Zulu. Both of them drawing inside. It looked like this would not be a very fast-paced Kentucky Oaks. I still don't expect it to be extremely fast, but those two drawing inside forces their hands a bit. And you mentioned Secret Oath, a very interesting horse to draw the rail.
Full field of 14 for the Longines Kentucky Oaks coming up on Friday. And again, the 15 will be Begin. That is an also eligible. Here are the 14 in the body of the race. Secret Oath from the rail. Hidden Connection from post 3. Ugiri, Echo Zulu. And again, the gate break is probably key. If you asked any one of these trainers, they would probably tell you, we're going to play the break. We want to be forward. Where that takes us into the first turn obviously remains to be seen.
Yeah, the key and why I mentioned the speed horses drawing inside is if you want to kind of stalk from the outside, it's a lot easier. You kind of have more options coming out of the gate. When you're a tactical speed type horse and you're drawn towards the inside, the options are much more limited.
Take a look at the 14 for the Longines Kentucky Oaks coming up on Friday. Let's get Brandon Stauble's thoughts on the post position draw, which is now complete. Brandon?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier the fact the speed 6, 7, and 8. Hidden Connection draw on the inside to me also kind of makes this pace maybe a little more contested. From what we've seen in the mornings, this one's been very aggressive, a little bit headstrong at times. So I think they don't really want to get caught in behind horses. I would expect them to want to send and get good position out of there. I think the biggest takeaway, guys, is I think the pace is going to be a little quicker in my eyes than what we first expected.
Well, thanks, Brandon. And Scott, Echo Zulu's undefeated. She has never been headed, right? And she finally faced a battle last time out in her 3-year-old debut. There was a question whether or not she would make the Fairgrounds Oaks. Almost got caught by Hidden Connection late. And then Kathleen O, a come-from-behind sort. Nest, a little bit of a stalker. Secret Oath from the rail. Let's take a look back at the Fairgrounds Oaks now. And Echo Zulu is on the lead here. Hidden Connection sat a little bit further off the pace that day than maybe we thought. And she almost came and got her in the final strides.
This was her first start off the bench. Steve Asmussen talked about her not being fully cranked, and she was tested, like you said. That's Hidden Connection on the outside under Ray Gutierrez, who opted to sit a few lengths off the pace that day when he thought maybe he was going to take it to Echo Zulu. It almost worked, but it was Echo Zulu once again barely hitting the wire first in a tight one to make it 5 for 5.
This will be Hidden Connection's third race back off of the layoff and her third start as a 3-year-old. One would think that Echo Zulu could improve. You know, the pedigree maybe a little bit sprinty for her. 9 furlong distance, a little bit of a question mark, but it is for all of these fillies.
It is. She's going to have to improve. She just didn't run fast enough to beat the likes of Kathleen O and Nest, at least if they run their last race. But the expectation is she definitely will take a step forward. How big a one she does, that's the question.
Fascinating race tactically with Kathleen O and Secret Oath likely coming from off the pace.
Yeah, Secret Oath's trip's going to be very interesting. Luis Saez takes the call for the first time. The more aggressive rider than Luis Contreras, who rode in the past. She's been caught along the inside in tricky spots before and overcome it when she was much better than Fields in Arkansas. But here, that trip's not going to work, so it'll be interesting. If she could sit a perfect pocket trip, which I expect her and Ness to do if all things go right, they're the major players in here.
You know what else is going to be interesting? The morning line odds here, because favoritism could go to any one of maybe even 4 horses. The big 4, like we like to call them, packed room in the Aristides Lounge with the Kentucky Oaks draw now complete, the Derby draw on the horizon. Let's find out what those morning line odds are as we send it back to Travis.
Thank you, gentlemen, and welcome back to the post-position draw for the Kentucky Oaks. Kentucky Derby soon to follow. Now we have the TwinSpires.com morning line odds as prepared by Mike Battaglia. And for those of you in the room, I'll read the odds down in alphabetical order since we all have these draw sheets. I will identify the first 3 favorites, though, as we do so. So first off on your draw sheet, number 12, Candy Raid, is 30 to 1. Number 11, Cocktail Moments with Corey Lannery, 30 to 1. Number 9, Desert Dawn with Umberto Rispoli, 20 to 1. Number 7, Echo Zulu with Joel Rosario, third choice at 4 to 1. Number 5, Goddess of Fire, John Velazquez, 15 to 1. Number 3, Hidden Connection with Ray Gutierrez, 20 to 1. Number 10, Kathleen O with Javier Castellano is the second favorite on the morning line odds at 7 to 2 odds. Number 4, Nest with Irad Ortiz Jr. is the 5 to 2 morning line favorite for this year's Kentucky Oaks. Number 2, Nostalgic with Jose Ortiz is 15 to 1. Number 1, Secret Oath, Luis Saez, 6 to 1. Number 13, Shahama, Flavian Pratt at 15 to 1. Number 14, Turner Loose with Manny Franco, 20 to 1. Number 8, Venti Valentine with Tyler Gaffleone, 20 to 1. Number 6, Ugiri, Florent Giroux at 30. And also eligible 15, Beguine, is 30 to 1. So once again, the morning line favorite for the Oaks this year, Nest at 5 to 2, followed by Kathleen O 7 to 2, Echo Zulu 4 to 1. We'll take another brief break, get ready to draw the Kentucky Derby, and we'll be back after this.
We've got undefeated fillies in here and high-profile fillies in Kathleen O and Echo Zulu, but the 5 to 2 morning line favorite off that huge victory, Scott, in the Ashland at Keeneland is Nest. You surprised at all?
Well, it was an unenviable position for oddsmaker Mike Battaglia. Very hard to separate the top 3 or top 4, depending on how you look at it. I'm a little surprised he made anyone 5 to 2. I thought the morning line favorite would probably be 3 to 1. I thought it might be Kathleen O, but again, we're very tough spot with all 3 or 4 if you count Secret Oath being very close together.
Yeah, definitely splitting hairs, and the pari-mutuel money is going to speak as we get into the eventual wagering. Let's take a look at the post positions now in their totality with the morning line odds for the 148th running of the Longines Kentucky Oaks. Grade 1 mile and an eighth coming up on Friday here at Churchill Downs. And again, 5 to 2 morning line favorite is Nest, drawing post position number 4. You've got the second choice, that is the undefeated Echo Zulu is 4 to 1. She's the third choice. 7 to 2 on Kathleen O is the second choice. And then Secret Oath at 6 to 1, third against the boys last out. She's going to take some money, not only because of her form, but because of her trainer.
Well, what's interesting is I think a month before now, Secret Oath might have been considered the favorite, but then Nest, or Echo Zulu as well, but then Nest, and of course Kathleen O with big steps forward in their last preps made them the favorite and the second choice. Both will be coming from off the pace. Echo Zulu 4 to 1. I expect her to take some money for sure. Will be interesting to see if Secret Oath does indeed go off that much further than the top 3 in Nest, Echo Zulu, and Kathleen O.
Trainer Todd Pletcher with 3 horses in this year's Kentucky Oaks, headlined by the morning line favorite Nest. He stands by with Brandon Staubel. Brandon?
Thanks, guys. Todd, go through 3 of them pretty quickly here. With Nest, you have to be happy with that inside draw. Probably going to save some ground and let some others do some work up front.
Yeah, very pleased with the draw for her and Goddess of Fire, 4 and 5. It's very good.
And Shahama was one I was kind of interested in, especially the way she's training in the mornings. Maybe didn't get the best of it in the 13-hole. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, she's a filly that watching her videos of her races in Dubai, she doesn't jump real well. She's not real quick away from the gate. I actually think she might be better off out there. We'll give Flavian some options in terms of being able to drop in. I think if she was stuck inside and didn't get away well, it could compromise her a little more.
Let's switch gears to the Derby. Maybe Mo Donegal, Pioneer, Medina. Talk about those two, especially maybe Mo Donegal. Are you looking for any particular draw, or you just kind of know with his style, I mean, really anything's going to be okay?
Yeah, I think anything's going to be okay. I think, you know, even with the new gate, people don't want to draw the 1, but he was able to win from the rail in the Wood Memorial. So, you know, I'm not going to worry too much about him and Pioneer Medina's draw. I'd love to see Charge It hit somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, speaking of Charge It, he's turned some heads in the morning. Beautiful looking colt. Just probably mid-pack, using some positional speed to get that position and then just kind of see how it shakes loose.
I think he's got better tactical speed than the Florida Derby showed. You know, he didn't get away well there. He hit the side of the gate and got some kickback for the first time. I think, you know, in his first 2 races, he showed a little more foot. So if he can get away cleanly, I think he'll be in the first tier.
Todd, you got a lot of action this week. Are you enjoying things so far, though, in Louisville? You've been here for a little bit.
Yeah, things are going well. You know, really pleased with the way the horses are trained. The breezes went smoothly, so now just hope everything continues to go that way for the next week.
Well, good luck, Todd. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Guys?
All right, thanks to Todd and thanks to Brandon. And he mentioned Mo Donegal, who was extremely impressive in the Wood Memorial, a horse that had some ups and downs this winter, really put it all together in New York, and had to work to get there, Scott. But a 111 late Brisnet speed rating gives the closer fans lots of hope.
Early voting for Chad Brown was loose on the lead set. Honest fractions, not fast ones, but it was Mo Donegal saving ground throughout under jockey Joel Rosario, angling out at the top of the lane and showing that the 9 furlongs of the Wood Memorial was not an issue. Definitely seems to prefer the distances as they get longer.
Yeah, Todd mentioning the fact he doesn't really care all that much what the post position winds up being from O'Donegal. And out the back closer, it looks to me, Scott, that there will be at least an honest pace in this year's Kentucky Derby should aid a horse like O'Donegal. But again, in a 20-horse field, have to get a little bit of racing luck.
Without a doubt, especially when you're coming from off the pace, it'll be Irad Ortiz Jr., not Joel Rosario this time around. And I think there's some important draws that'll happen with the Kentucky Derby, but unlike the Oaks, I don't think it's going to dictate whether the pace is contentious. It's just certain horses I think would rather be outside instead of inside.
Brad Cox has 3 horses in this year's Kentucky Derby. He has a filly and Turner Loose in the Oaks as well, and he stands by with Brandon Stauble.
Joined here with trainer Brad Cox. Brad, let's go to Turner Loose quickly. Drew the outside 14 hole. She does have some positional speed. How do you kind of see it maybe playing from the break?
Probably break running. Monomoy girl broke from out there, so I'm okay with it. But, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully she can break, say, a little bit of ground going into the first turn.
That last workout for her, you talked about maybe changing some equipment. She looked a lot more relaxed.
Yeah, much better this week as opposed to the week before. Way too keyed up and aggressive going to the pole. Didn't finish up the way we were looking, what we were looking for, and much better this week. So she's definitely coming into the race a little bit better.
Moving on to the Derby, let's talk about Zozos. The 3 of us here on set, we've kind of been raving about this horse. We think he's going to run a lot better than maybe what people think. Talk about maybe what you feel like his talent level is right now.
We ran a big number last time. I think if he can move forward off that, he's had time, 6 weeks between Louisiana Derby and the Kentucky Derby. So if he can move forward again, I think he's definitely a player. He should be able to put himself in position early, and we'll see how it goes.
And Cyberknife, he's been pretty good in the mornings, which I think is kind of the MO sometimes on race day. He's been known to kind of act up a little bit. Are you worried at all about, I know there were 60,000 plus at Oaklawn, going to be a lot more here at Churchill. Is that something you worry about, or one of those things you just can't control?
No, I'm not going to worry about it. We actually schooled him today, and he was very good. So he's handled himself very, very well since coming here from Oaklawn. He was here last fall. He's run here a few times, so he has some experience here. And so far, so good. I think he's in a good spot mentally and physically right now.
Florent in the Arkansas Derby seemed like he kind of made a little bit of an early move, but I think he felt like he didn't want to get stuck behind traffic. So knowing that he's got some positional speed, do you kind of think maybe mid-pack for Cyberknife?
Yeah, mid-pack, maybe a little bit, in front of that. We'll see how it plays out. I do think he rode him very confidently in the Arkansas Derby. It worked out, and hopefully, once again, he's another one who's going to need to take a step forward, and he's getting 5 weeks. We'll see how it goes.
We wish you the best of luck, Brad. Enjoy the week, okay?
Thanks, Brandon.
Back to you guys.
Thanks to Brad, always for his time, and Brandon as well. Brad Cox finishing 1st and 3rd in last year's Kentucky Derby. He's got 3 shots this year as well, including Tawny Port. As we take a look at the Kentucky Derby points leaderboard, the road to the Kentucky Derby, Scott, lasted 7 months. It began here with the Iroquois at Churchill Downs, and when the dust settled, Epicenter, who rolled through the preps in New Orleans, is our points leader.
Yep, 164 points for Epicenter, the likely favorite in the Kentucky Derby. Did very little wrong in Louisiana, just beat in the Lecomte, 3 wins in the other prep races. Zandon, the impressive win in the Bluegrass, all the way down to Taba, just 2 lifetime races. That win in the Santa Anita Derby earned him 100 points.
Final preps were spectacular for all the winners and a lot of the runner-ups and 3rd place finishers, as well. As we flip the page, a classic Causeway back in could add to the early pace. Messier expected to be a pace factor as well, and Zozos keeps getting better. He's lightly raced, but Brad Cox has him where he needs to be.
Yep, and Smile Happy, the Kentucky Jockey Club winner up there on the 2nd page, and we move to the 3rd page here. Pioneer of Medina and Ethereal Road getting into the field. They were on the also eligible list a short time ago. D. Wayne Lucas back in the Derby the first time since Bravazzo.
All right, the Kentucky Derby draw is now just moments away. We have 20 horses and 2 on the AE list. Travis Stone once again handling the proceedings, but first, back to Steve Buttleman.
Steve Buttleman with a quick change from the pink to the red, signifying we're about to draw the Kentucky Derby, the 148th running. Once again, welcome back to Churchill Downs. It's Monday of Derby week. Beautiful day outside. The energy in the room is real as we get set to draw the 148th Kentucky Derby, taking place this Saturday. I'll let Ben announce the also eligibles. With 2 also eligibles in here. We'll draw 10 horses, and then we'll take another brief break, and we'll draw the final 10 for this year's Derby. Ben?
Okay, the 2 also eligibles in order of points. Also eligible 21, Rich Strike, Sonny Leone. Also eligible 22, Rattle and Roll, James Graham.
They will have until Friday at 9 a.m. to draw into the race. Friday at 9 a.m. is scratch time for both the Oaks and the Derby.
Okay, here we go. 20 horses.
Number 7.
7, Crown Pride, Christophe Lemaire.
Number 7 is Crown Pride. This is trainer Koichi Shintani's first international graded stakes winner, and they sound pretty excited here in the front row. Shintani has piqued a lot of interest this week with his unique to America training style for the UAE Derby winner. He is the second Japanese bred to run in the Kentucky Derby. Master fencer who was the first ran 6th. Crown Pride, number 7.
Number 13.
13, Simplification, Jose Ortiz.
Number 13, Simplification, is the Fountain of Youth winner, was 3rd as the favorite in the Florida Derby. Jockey Jose Ortiz said they'll need another start like the Florida Derby to get position, but that the Fountain of Youth was probably his best style. He said in the Florida Derby there was mid-race pressure he believes caused their late fade. Ortiz has finished 2nd and 3rd in the Derby from only 6 mounts. That is Simplification, number 13.
Number 20.
20, Ethereal Road, Louis Contreras.
Number 20 is Ethereal Road, who jumped into the Derby scene just this morning, narrowly lost the Rebel this year. This will be D-Wayne Lucas's 50th Kentucky Derby starter. He is seeking his 5th win. Number 20, Ethereal Road.
Number 8.
8, Charge It, Luis Saez.
Number 8 is Charge It, a homebred from Andy Pope's Whisper Hill Farm, who made his first start in just January of this year. In the Florida Derby, he broke inward and hit the gate door to his left-hand side. Despite that, he still finished 2nd. And the Florida Derby is historically the most productive prep for the Kentucky Derby. 24 winners coming out of the South Florida race. That is Charge It, number 8.
Number 5.
5, Smile Happy, Corey Lannery.
Number 5 is Smile Happy, who powered home in last fall's Kentucky Jockey Club right here at Churchill Downs, defeating several other Derby rivals in the process. Lucky 7 Stable is owned by Louisville's Mike Mackin and his family. He said they will have at least 70 and upwards of 80 family members in attendance this weekend. He was disappointed with the 2nd place finish in the Bluegrass until a reporter said to him on the racetrack, "How does it feel to have a horse qualify for the Derby?" To which he said the disappointment instantly went away. That is Smile Happy, number 5.
$16.
16, Cyberknife, Florent Giroux.
Number 16, Cyberknife. Trainer Al Gold started owning horses back in 2004. Cyberknife is his first graded stakes winner. It's been well reported these last few weeks that he named Cyberknife after a device used to treat prostate cancer. He said he wanted to get the story out on how painless and successful the method is. He's done just that. We wish him luck on both fronts. Cyberknife, number 16.
Number 2.
2, Happy Jack, Rafael Bejarano.
Number 2 is Happy Jack. Trainer Doug O'Neill said this week that training horses is a, quote, inexact science. And he worked Happy Jack the atypical distance of 1 mile at Keeneland on Saturday. O'Neill said Happy Jack is a really good-looking, healthy colt that thrives on action. And to prove it to himself, he wanted a really solid piece of exercise. And Happy Jack responded beautifully. O'Neill is seeking his 3rd win with the Calumet Farm homebred in the Derby. Happy Jack.
Number 18.
18, Tawny Port, Ricardo Santana.
18, Tawny Port shares the name with a type of Portuguese wine, looks to join Charismatic and Swale as Derby winners to prep in the Lexington. Trainer Brad Cox credited John Ford of Peachtree Stable for wanting to try the Lexington. It was his first dirt victory. This will be Peachtree Stable's 4th Derby starter. They finished 2nd with Invisible Ink back in 2001. Tawny Port, 18.
Number 9.
9, Tis the Bomb, Brian Hernandez Jr.
30 years ago, Lily T used what is now known as the Jeff Ruby Stakes on the road to his Kentucky Derby win, and Tis the Bomb is hoping to do the same, just as Animal Kingdom did back in 2011. The obvious question surrounding Tis the Bomb is whether or not the surface is the reason for his improved form as late, but Brian Hernandez credits maturity more than surface, saying since he has turned 3, he has grown up a lot. Tis the Bomb, number 9.
Number 1.
1, Mo Donegal, Irad Ortiz.
Number 1, Mo Donegal. Jerry Crawford of Donegal Racing said they use an algorithm to find classic distance horses, and so far they've finished 3rd twice in the Kentucky Derby from just 3 starters. He calls Mo Donegal a freight train horse that is flexible with post position, which is good, as he just drew the rail, and they're thrilled to have Irad Ortiz riding. Speaking of Irad, when asked if it's Irad or Irad, he said, quote, however you feel comfortable, followed by a laughing emoji, so Irad it is. Mo Donegal, number 1. And that is the first 10. So we'll take a brief break and we'll be back with the second 10 right after this.
Top Fletcher said that he wanted a middle gate for Charge It. He got it with post position number 8. Maybe the most interesting fact about the first 10 being drawn and the second 10 to come, a lot of the speed horses don't have a gate yet, Scott.
They do not, and that's kind of what is most noteworthy after 10 horses, Joe. But Mo Donegal drawing the rail. Nobody really wants the rail, but of all the horses, especially the top contenders, I think he's the one that matters the least. I think Cyberknife drawing the 16 is a very positive. I think Brad Cox would likely agree with that, getting him towards the outside. Then he has some options. I know he doesn't want to be on the lead, but I don't think he wants to get too much dirt kicked in his face and maybe be in a stalking position.
Yeah, there's several horses that have speed as we take a look at what we've seen so far from the draw, and then there's a lot of stalking types and then an equal amount of closers too. You just don't want to get hung wide in that first turn if you can avoid it. Sometimes the traffic into the first turn is unavoidable. More likely traffic down on the inside, Scott. But Mo Donegal's a deep closer, so is Happy Jack. Smile Happy probably mid-pack to a late closer in this race as well.
Well, Smile Happy's pilot, Corey Lannery, known for wanting to get to that rail and save ground. You had to expect he was going to want to do that anyway. In the bluegrass, he was caught wide and was caught by Zandon in the lane. Now he's closer to the rail like he likes to be and will look to save ground. Tis the Bomb, a horse that draws the 9-hole. I think that's a fine post. I expect Brian Hernandez Jr. to try to get him out of the gate a little better and get position, but not a whole lot of intrigue or things that I would be that concerned with this draw. Horses like Tawny Port and Ethereal Road will just have to try to save ground from off the pace.
Classic Causeway, Summer is Tomorrow, Messier, Zozos, even Epicenter. Some of the horses we expect to be forward do not have post positions as of yet, as we send it over to Brandon Staubel for his early thoughts. At 10 down, 10 to go, Brandon.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway from me, guys. The fact we still have all the speed to be drawn. Some closers drew the outside, obviously Mo Donegal on the inside, so we kind of know what they're going to do. I thought the big winner here was Crown Pride, the 7-hole. You heard the connections celebrate. I think they should. It's a great post to be able to kind of set up shop. Also, Cyberknife, too. You guys talked about kind of that open air trip on the outside. I think that's going to be a great trip for this horse.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Still 10 horses to draw in Kentucky Derby 148. We mentioned a lot of the speed horses. Of course, Epicenter, Zandon, the 1-2 finishers in the point standings coming into the Derby. Zandon hasn't drawn a post yet either. Some outside posts, some inside posts left on the board. Lots of intrigue for our second 10.
Well, other than the rail and the 5-hole, lots of inside posts left and lots of speed horses. I think that's one of the things I was going to take away most from the draw, which speed horses drew towards the inside and we're going to have their hands forced, and which drew towards the outside and have those options that I spoke of a little while ago. So we'll see. Epicenter you mentioned, Zozos, Zandon. We will see what happens soon.
The connections of 10 of the horses know their post. Additional intrigue for the rest of the connections as we send it back to Travis for the remainder of the draw.
All right, here we go to draw the final 10 post positions for Saturday's 148th Kentucky Derby. Gentlemen, last 10.
All right, here we go.
Number 4.
4, Summer is Tomorrow, Mikhail Barcelona.
Number 4, Summer is Tomorrow, was born in America, sold in England, conditioned in the UAE by an Indian trainer, and will be piloted by a French jockey, a true international entrant in this year's Derby. His trainer, Bhupat Simar, assisted by his wife Caroline, is in his first year as head trainer. He has worked in the United States before. Summer is Tomorrow has early speed and is expected to show it early. Number 4.
Number 10.
10, Zandon, Flavian Pratt.
Number 10, Zandon. Owner Jeff Drown named Zandon after a Colorado hunting buddy who will join him here in Louisville. When asked how he was feeling, he said, "Life's a journey, can't get too upset over a horse race." And then he paused and said, "But it sure would be nice." This will be Chad Brown's 7th Kentucky Derby starter. His best finish was with Good Magic, second at 9-1. Zandon figures to be at least half that price come post time. Flavian Pratt, who moved his tech east earlier this year, is seeking his second Derby win. Zandon, number 10.
19.
19, Zozos, Manny Franco.
Number 19, Zozos, is named after a restaurant in the Virgin Islands where Minnesotans Barry and Joni Butzo were eating there the day Zozos won his first race for trainer Brad Cox. Manny Franco, who finished second with Tiz DeLaw back in 2020, has the mount. It'll be his first time on Zozos. To prepare, Manny said he's going to watch film of his past races to familiarize with himself as much as possible and then lean on Brad Cox for any additional insight for number 19, Zozos.
Number 15.
15, White Abario, Tyler Gaffalione.
Number 15, White Abario. Trainer Safi Joseph Jr. will be experiencing a May Derby for the first time this year and is trying to stay calm, but admitted the nerves will kick in come race day. When saddling a horse, he likes his jockeys to be assertive coming out of the gate, but after that, it's up to them, and he will leave it up to Tyler Gaffalione, who started riding regularly here in Kentucky in 2018 and has won 6 straight Churchill Downs riding titles. White Abario, 15.
Number 14.
14 is Barber Road, Ray Gutierrez.
Number 14, Barber Road, has been never worse than 4th in 8 career starts, despite developing a deep closing running style. Ray Gutierrez will go through his normal routine after today's draw, and he says, like when preparing for a test, he doesn't want to overdo it, but his goal will be to drop in and save as much ground as possible. Barber Road is trainer John Ortiz's first Derby starter, post 14.
Number 12.
12, Taba, Mike Smith.
Number 12, Taba. Taba is the nickname for the city of Medina in Saudi Arabia, much like calling New York City Gotham or Los Angeles the City of Angels. In the last 10 years, 3 horses that won the Santa Anita Derby went on to win the Kentucky Derby. Mike Smith, a 2-time Kentucky Derby winner, has more mounts than anyone and is, at 56 years old, looking to become the oldest winning jockey on Taba, number 12.
Number 11.
11, Pioneer of Medina, Joe Bravo.
Number 11, Pioneer of Medina, drew into the main body of this year's Derby just yesterday. It'll be his 7th career start at his 5th different racetrack, and he's never had the same jockey twice. He's from Pioneer of the Nile's last crop at stud, who is also known as the sire of American Pharoah. Pioneer of Medina, number 11.
17.
17, Classic Causeway, Julian Leperoux.
Classic Causeway is the first horse in the main body of the field to appear on the road to the Kentucky Derby leaderboard back in October. After a disappointing start in the Florida Derby, Brian Lynch briefly removed him from consideration, but they're back in. And jockey Julian Leperoux, who's ranked 5th in all-time wins here at Churchill Downs, said their final workout went perfectly, but was non-committal about strategy, wanting to see how today's post-draw went. Classic Causeway, number 17.
Number 3.
3, Epicenter, Joel Rosario.
Number 3, Epicenter. An earthquake around the naming deadline prompted Ron Winchell and racing manager DJ Fisk to settle on the name Epicenter. For Churchill Downs' all-time leading trainer Steve Asmussen, this will be his shortest price Derby starter yet. He has twice finished second. Jockey Joel Rosario won the Derby with Orb in 2013.
And the 6.
6 is Messier, John Velazquez.
Messier will be the 13th Canadian bred to start in the Kentucky Derby Victory Gallop, finished second 1998, the best finisher of that group. He's named after 25-year NHL veteran Mark Messier. Messier will be piloted by 23-year Derby veteran John Velazquez, who is a 3-time winner of the race. Another win would put him in a tie for second alongside Bill Shoemaker for most ever, and that is Messier, number 6. So those are the post positions for Saturday's 148th Kentucky Derby. We'll take a brief break. We'll be back with the morning line odds for this year's Run for the Roses. Back after this.
Epicenter drawing post position number 3 and Zandon drawing post position number 10. Those draws stood out a little bit for the 2 horses that many believe will vie for favoritism when the horses do leave the starting gate on Saturday.
Not a lot of losers in this draw, Joe. I think everybody, for the most part, will come away happy. Epicenter drawing inside all of the other speeds is noteworthy, especially Summer is tomorrow, assuming he gets out of the gate right to his outside. But if Epicenter comes away running and the other horses that we expect to show speed do as well, he could get a very similar trip against a larger field like he did in the Louisiana Derby.
Yeah, he's got that natural speed. There's a long run into the first turn. Again, you don't know who's going to break left, who's going to break right coming out of the starting gate. You never know who's going to get compromised, but with a clean break in his natural speed, should put himself in good position. As we take a look at the entire board now with the 20 post positions, and we'll get the morning line odds in just a few moments. Scott, tactically, what do you see from some of the speed horses? Messier and 6 Summer is tomorrow, drawn to the inside of him.
Yeah, you would think Messier would be able to sit just off the pace. If it breaks on top, maybe go on with it. Taba drawing towards the outside. I'd have to think their connections were happy with that. Didn't want to draw along the inside. Has had favorable outside stalking voyages, especially in the Santa Anita Derby. White Barrio, a horse that I think would like options. Tyler Gaffalione aboard, but usually gets out of the gate and finds good position. Classic Causeway from that far outside. You'd have to think Julien Le Peru will be aggressive. Generally a relaxed, passive type of rider, but with this horse, I would expect him, the way he gets out of the gate, to get into things early. And then Zozos to the far outside. I know Brett Cox has talked about him getting into the race earlier, but again, this will give jockey Manny Franco plenty of options.
Yeah, Manny's got to be a little bit aggressive coming out of there. He doesn't want to get hung wide on that first turn. There was a long run into the first turn, but that would even be my first thought. That needs to get it just a little bit aggressive to make sure he gets decent position. He certainly has the speed to put him where he wants to be in and out of that first turn, and obviously the backstretch and sorting yourself out and who's going to make the first move between the early speed horses, the stalkers, and then the closer sitting at the back just hoping for a fast pace to run at late.
Yeah, and Zandon we didn't talk about, or I didn't bring up in the 10 hole. I think that's just fine for him. Probably drawn all the way down to the inside or the far outside would have been the least favorable, but not the kind of horse, assuming he gets out of the gate better than he has, where I think post positions matter too much.
All right, let's send it over to Brandon for his thoughts. The 20 horses in the Kentucky Derby. The field is set. The post positions are drawn. All that's left is the morning line. What are you thinking, Brandon?
Yeah, I think for the most part, all the connections really have to be pleased. I mean, nobody really got that bad of a post. Even Mo Donegal from the inside with his style, the one hole, I think can just kind of sit there and save ground all the way around. You talked about Zozos. They're going to be aggressive from the outside. I mean, there's pretty much one way to go there. Classic Causeway, the same thing. Scott mentioned Zandon. I mean, I think that's a great post for him. If he breaks well, he can just kind of sit there mid-pack. And I think overall, guys, the biggest takeaway for me was I think everybody has to be pretty happy with their posts.
Everybody's going to speculate, and thanks, Brandon Scott, as to how this is going to play out going in and out of that first turn. But Rock Your World was supposed to be on or near the lead last year, and that didn't work out so well. So there's a lot of racing luck involved when those gates do finally spring.
Yeah, when you look back and watch those Kentucky Derbies, a lot of chaos happens right out of the gate. So it's hard to know exactly how it's going to go. But I think we have a good feel for the 5 or 6 horses that want to be prominently placed. There's a good chance that at least one of them won't come out running. But I think, like you said earlier on, should be a contentious early pace regardless of where these horses drew.
A lot of the trainers we've talked to that have tactical speed with their horses want to be on or near the lead when the horses hit the track kitchen.
Yep, that's the key. You don't want to be too far out of it, but that long first run into that first turn gives you plenty of chance to make your move.
All right, so the 20 post positions have been drawn, 2 also eligibles as well. Next up, the morning line, which Mike Battaglia will give us through Travis Stone. Let's find out who the favorite's going to be right now.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the post position draw for the Oaks and the Derby. We just drew the Derby, and now we have the Morning line odds as prepared for by Mike Battaglia. Battaglia has made the morning line for the Kentucky Derby for 48 years. So here we go. And we'll do the same thing as the Oaks, and we'll read down those odds in alphabetical order for the Kentucky Derby. All right, here we go. Number 14, Barber Road is 30 to 1. Number 8, Charge It is 20 to 1. Number 17, Classic Causeway is 30 to 1. Number 7, Crown Pride is 20 to 1. Number 16, Cyberknife is 20 to 1. Number 3, Epicenter is 7 to 2, the second favorite on the morning line. Number 20, Ethereal Road is 30 to 1. Number 2, Happy Jack is 30 to 1. Number 6, Messier is the third favorite at 8 to 1. Mo Donegal, number 1, 10 to 1. Pioneer of Medina, number 11, 30 to 1. Number 13, Simplification is 20 to 1. Number 5, Smile Happy is 20 to 1. Number 4, Summer is Tomorrow, 30 to 1. Number 12, Taba, 12 to 1. 18, Tawnyport, 30 to 1. Tis the Bomb, 30 to 1. White Abario, number 15, 10 to 1. Morning line favorite for the 148th Kentucky Derby, number 10, Zandon, 3 to 1. Number 19, Zozos, 20 to 1. And both Rich Strike and Rattle and Roll, the also eligibles 21 and 22, are 30 to 1. So there you have it, the fields for both the Oaks and the Derby. We'll see you here, Churchill Downs, all throughout Derby week, and of course Friday and Saturday. We'll send it back to the guys on set. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Well, thanks, Travis. The draw for the Kentucky Derby has been complete. Your morning line favorite at 3 to 1 is Zandon. Epicenter close second choice, Scott, at 7 to 2. You could have probably flipped a coin between the two of them. The big question is which horse is Mattress Mac in the bet?
That is going to be key. That big money that's going to come in from Mac will play out and probably determine who the favorite's going to be. I'm a little surprised that he did go with Zandon in the end. I think both horses with plenty of buzz. We've been calling Epicenter the probable morning line favorite for weeks now. We were wrong.
Lots of buzz in the morning on Zandon, though, and a lot of people over the course of the last few days, myself included, thought that maybe he would be the post-time favorite. Morning line, a little bit of a different story, but Mike obviously agrees.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised at all with the separation that Mike Battaglia put between the top two horses and the rest of the field. In a 20-horse field with a lot of serious contenders out of the top two, you kind of had to do that. A little bit surprised that Taba's 12 to 1.
All right, let's send it back over to Brandon, standing by with Steve Asmussen.
Steve, thanks for joining us. Let's go to the Oaks real quick. Echo Zulu, kind of in the middle of a couple other pace players in there. How do you kind of see the trip playing out?
Well, hopefully she's away from there sharply. Drawn 7 of 14. I think it's a very good draw for her, going a mile and an 8. She's been training really well. Expect her to be easy to find in the race.
She's got plenty of what I call brilliant speed, but she's very rateable, relaxes beautifully. That has to be a huge asset going this distance, right?
Well, she has. To this point, she's broke very cleanly and been very comfortable on the front end.
And switching over to the Derby, was looking up some stats. So Gunrunner broke from the 5-hole, Curlin from the 2. This doesn't probably bother you very much, does it?
Well, you just, same thing. You want a nice clean break. You know, Epicenter's got plenty of race, and he's got a lot of seasoning in him. Just how long it takes him to load. You want to get away from there. To be some anxious moments in that. Just want him to stand up good in the gates, get away from there cleanly, and expect him to run his race.
He's another one, too, just so relaxed in the mornings. Is that something you've kind of seen from him from day one since you got him in the barn?
A lot of confidence. I think that he's, since with victories and with success, he's been very proud of himself and goes about like he can handle what he's doing.
We appreciate your time, Steve. Thank you, and good luck.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Steve. And again, Epicenter, he's got that cruising speed. He's got Joel Rosario. I don't care if it's a $5,000 claiming race or the Kentucky Derby as we take a look at the 20 horses and their morning line odds, Scott. The time when everybody's holding their breath is the horse is loading in the starting gate and the horse is braking from the starting gate. Because once they hit that first turn in the backstretch, you got a much better idea of what your chances might be.
The major difference is the 20 horses loading into the gate instead of anywhere between 5 and 14 or so. But other than that, you're right. But I think Steve Asmussen, of course, the Hall of Famer, nailed it. The key for Epicenter will be getting out of the gate. If he gets out of the gate like he has in his other starts, that inside post really will not matter.
Summers tomorrow is a big key to this race. We saw him on the lead in the UAE Derby. He was a sprinter earlier in his career. He went fast in the UAE Derby. He held second, and Messier drawn to his outside. You know he's going to be forward.
You would think so. I think the goal for Messier would be to sit just off of Summers tomorrow. We know Johnny V has won derbies before, and he's going to do so by being aggressive. Now, the question is with Messier, when does he make that move? And who else is up there with Summers tomorrow in Classic Causeway? But when you look at this, again, I know Brandon and I said it, you agreed. Not a lot of losers when it came to this draw. Even the horses that drew inside are horses that it really doesn't matter that much for.
Pioneer Medina has speed from post 11, Zozos from post number 19, but your morning line favorite drew perfectly. Zandon didn't really matter all that much where he drew, but I'm sure that Chad and his team, Chad Brown, not disappointed one bit.
I would say if you could have given him the 10 post when he came here, he would have signed up and been on his way. Just an insignificant post. Maybe the inside, the far outside would have been things he wouldn't have cared for, especially with the inability to get out of the gates over his last 2 starts. But like you said, a perfect post.
Brandon Staubel standing by with a gentleman who knows a thing or two about winning the Kentucky Derby. Brandon?
Doug? They just mentioned, a thing or two about winning the Kentucky Derby, so glad you could join us. Post 2, just kind of give us your overall thoughts.
Well, in all honesty, we were hoping to be a little bit more on the outside, but as soon as we got number 2, we were like, hey, we like number 2. So, but it's the first year of a new gate, and there's more room now from the inner horses to the rails, so I think that's a little advantage. And we got Epicenter is right outside of us, who's a big-time speed horse and talented horse. So, but I think having Rafael Bejarano in a saddle is huge. He's so experienced. He knows his track better than anybody. And Happy Jack's training really, really well. So we're optimistic.
Speaking of the training, 1 mile workout at Keeneland. You've done that with some other horses before. Just kind of talk to us about the workout.
I just wanted to come in, win, lose, or draw, just be as fit as we could possibly be. So wanted to have Rafael get on him and work him, which we did. And it was just great to see Rafi get along so well with him. Rafi was so happy with him. They galloped out. I got him galloping out a mile and a quarter in 2:07. So, I mean, it was a really strong work. And Keeneland's got a good cushion to it, so they really get a good blow on the track over there. So we're just hoping we're bringing in a fit horse who's hopefully his numbers are on the rise and will shock the world.
Doug, we appreciate the time. Enjoy the next week, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Doug and Scott. 20 horses. A couple of years ago, we had 2 gates, and now we have 1 gate. I think it's good for everybody involved, and looking forward to the third year to use the new starting gate with 20 horses.
Yeah, much better deal for everyone involved, especially, though, that horse that was in the 1 hole.
Lots of differences between the new gate and the 2 gates that we used to use, and to kind of describe why the 1 hole maybe isn't as bad as many people think. Let's throw it back to Brandon.
Yeah, Doug O'Neill kind of helped us with a little segue to this segment here. The starting gate before, when we had the auxiliary gate, 15 through 16, but the biggest thing was the rail. Nobody ever wanted to draw the 1 hole because basically you were going to run straight into the rail. You kind of had to make a right turn. If you didn't brake well, or maybe you broke well but somebody else comes over, you just were in a bad place in there. So the 1 actually kind of basically started from the rail, and then you had to come over. So now with the new starting gate, 65 feet long, but that gives everybody plenty of room. You can see how many paths, 2 or 3 paths extra that these horses are going to get to be able to find position. Makes things a lot fairer, a lot safer, and gives everybody a fighting chance.
Well, thanks, Brandon. I mean, if I'm the connections to Mo Donegal with an off-the-pace horse who's already proven that he can come through a tight opening on the inside, and I look at that video, it makes me feel a lot better.
I think it's a good post for him. I mean, things could go wrong a lot easier when you don't get out of the gate and things of that nature. But he's a horse that likes to save ground. He likes to come with a late run, and you never know. Maybe the rail will open up and it'll be a dream run like it was for him in the Wood Memorial. He earned it in the Wood Memorial. He'll have to earn it in the Kentucky Derby, but if he can save ground throughout, it'll work to his advantage.
I mentioned this earlier, 20 horses in the race. That's like 6 or 7 want to be forward, 6 or 7 want to stalk the pace, 6 or 7 want to come from off the pace. So it's fascinating in so many different ways, Scott, and you never know what's going to happen until the gates open. But a 1.25 mile test, 150,000 people. You got to have the physical ability, you've got to have the mental ability, and you've got to have the ability to show the stamina it takes to win the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some inexperienced horses in this race that are going to have to take that mental step forward, get out of the gates, deal with the crowd. You spoke to it there. It's not just about being fast, it's about being mentally tough.
The Kentucky Oaks field has been drawn. The Kentucky Derby field has been drawn. Scott, post positions are complete. And we're just waiting for the past performances now with the entire card for both Friday and Saturday.
We'll be able to dive into the Kentucky Derby card earlier than ever. Really excited about that. Plenty of other great racing before the Kentucky Derby. The Oak Stakes races were already drawn. Going to be a lot of fun, Joe.
Kentucky Derby week is now officially upon us. Champions Day coming up on Tuesday. We race Tuesday through Saturday. Kentucky Derby Day. The Kentucky Oaks, of course, on Friday. Thanks for joining us for the Draw Show, and have a great Derby week, everybody.